Hey, what's going on everyone? Supreme Kami over here, and today's topic is I'm going to be talking about what kind of banners do we have in game. So in terms of this video, I want to be specifically targeting new players when they're starting the game. They're not really too sure like what kind of banners to summon on and what kind of good banners you really summon on. So I basically list out 4 different types of banner we can be expecting to get within a given month. Let me just put it like that. So in terms of standard banner, we usually have twice per month. So every other week, alternative weeks, we usually get two standard banner. In terms of Gundam Battle Fest banner as well as Sokai banner, they usually come once a month. So basically you have a standard banner, Gundam Fest banner, and then standard banner, and then Sokai banner. So that's pretty much the time flow in terms of what kind of banner we can be expecting. In terms of the last banner, I have listed right here. So we have a Thursday banner. So Thursday banner is actually not the technical term. That is something I just kind of made it up. Because in terms of Thursday banner, they usually tend to throw in like all sorts of like a different enticing step banner that players may want to go for. In terms of like the Thursday night banner for say, it's not even that bad sometimes. Like for the instance, the one I have included in this video right here, we got the Ultra Pick Apart Both Side Capsule Ultra. This is actually one of the better iteration in terms of a step up banner we can be looking at. So I'll definitely talk about that a little bit more as we approach like that right there. So in terms of standard banner, these are usually the banner you want to actually sell or you want to tell yourself hold off, don't sell on them because once this, for example, this week around we have the Wing Gundam Zero Hono. So this unit came out this week actually. So if you wait 4 to 5 weeks later on, this unit is actually going to be able to pick up for free, because we have something called the 4-star pickup tickets, and this is a standard unit. So of course you can kind of pick it up for free, like give or take 4 to 5 weeks. So why would you even want to waste your hardships on this specific banner, for example? I mean, to be honest, just a short disclaimer, I guess, there's really no wrong or right answer in terms of what kind of banner you want to be summoning. If there's like really like a favorable unit that you like, since like child, for example, since like a teenager, whatever you're looking at, what kind of circumstances you're looking at, summon for them. Don't let people say, this unit sucks, or this unit is like that, yada yada yada. Like if you like a unit, summon for it. I guess that's pretty much the whole like just what I want to tell you guys. Like just basically summon for whatever banner you guys like, for example. And despite the fact that this unit may not be good or this part could be better, for example, you can just kind of ignore that, because at the end of the day, if you truly enjoy the game with the stuff you like, that's pretty much the best way to go about that. But if you talk about how do I get some of the best part in the game, like how do I get, I don't know, like 100,000 melee attack or like 100,000 shot attack, you got to be a little bit more careful in terms of what kind of parts you want to be talking about. So alright, so in terms of Gundam Battle Festival banner and Sokai banner, I treat them both as equally the same in a way. I don't see too much discrepancy in whether or not, oh, this banner is better. I'm talking about the overall the overall model behind that. I'm not talking about the specific unit. So if you do want to know more about how each individual part performs in terms of compare them to like the same other part, I do usually do like alteration review for each one of the part. Like I compare them by like the maximum stat, for example, and then I do talk about like, all right, is this part very good, is this EX good, whatnot. So if you want to know more details in that, you guys can definitely stay tuned for like during the given week when we have Sokai banners or even Gundam Fest banner. But if you're talking about like, all right, are these like the banner, like are these the banners to summon on, they're totally the banner to be summoning on. Because if you're talking about like a Gundam Fest banner or even like a Sokai banner, they usually have the highest stats, they usually come with the best part trait possible, they usually come with the highest dealing damage EX skill to be looking at. So these are definitely going to be like the pinnacle banner to be summoning on. So you can't really go wrong on that. And even if they are the best banner to be summoning on, you do have to be careful on what kind of build you guys are trying to build. Obviously there's like kind of multitude of different build you guys could be targeting. So starting out with like infighter, outfighter, middle shooter, long shooter, those are some specific trait that they'll be targeting. So you got to be careful when you guys are summoning for like what kind of unit are they really like, are they gonna provide a lot of good benefit for your overall build that you guys are working on. So those are typically stuff you want to be looking out for. Like let's say this week, for example, right, like we do have an announcement of what we're going to be getting for the upcoming week as the recording of this right now. So next week I believe is going to be like another melee type unit or like a shooting type unit. So can you really benefit from them? So those are definitely going to be questions you want to be asking yourself. What kind of build you guys are looking at, and that should be pretty much it, right? And then we do want to know more in terms of like how good is this part compared to something that came out maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. Like I definitely do have a, I literally, all right. I have like an Excel sheet of this kind of comparative. Shout out to Aklo because he's like the one behind all the like the overall like what is it, like the master log. So I basically pull from his list and then just kind of do my own things and compare them stat by stat. So you can definitely check out the full master log of like the stats and stuff from the GNL Discord server. They will have a copy of that for you as well. So all right, so skipping past that, so we do kind of determine that Gundam Fest banner and Sokai banner are probably the pinnacle banner to be summoning on. So what about Thursday banner? You know, what like why are they? Why do they even exist? I don't know. Like I don't know why they dropped two banners like back to, not really backpack, but they kind of drop a like, usually they drop the Sokai stuff like on like just any regular banner on like that Tuesday reset, and then skip 2 days on Thursday. They usually tend to throw us another banner. I don't know why they do that. Like couldn't they just have one banner and that's pretty much it? So in terms of Thursday banner, I feel like those are pretty much for those people who have kind of missed out on the original release date of, let's say this time around we had the Talagis over here as an example, and even the double X and Riser. So let's say you did miss out on the original talent to summoning them. I think the next best chance is definitely going to be summoning on these types of banners over here, because in terms of these banners, it's going to be like a general pool. So you're going to have like unit from since the game had released. So you're looking at unit that came out back in 2019, and then you're pretty much looking at unit that came back a few months ago. So in terms of these types of step up banner, they usually tend to throw in recently released unit as well. So give or take, they usually put like a gap period of a month or two. So whatever is that like from that banner release, and then whatever is 2 weeks ago, they or 2 months ago, they usually don't put that in there yet. And then as time progresses, they would definitely add it on. If you talk about, so let's say next week, will we ever get the XN Riser back yet? Probably no. I think XN Riser will probably have to be on a cooldown for just a little bit before releasing into this type of like a general pool banner in terms of these Ultra banner, for example. But in terms of this Ultra banner, is probably one of the best thing to be looking at, because what this pattern comes with is a item called the L Badge. So I think a lot of people value L Badge a lot more nowadays, because if you don't summon on the original banner, what you're missing out is you're gonna be missing out something called the build project material, and then the second thing you're gonna be missing is gonna be an L Badge for that specific unit to alterate them. So if you do want to know more about alteration, I'll say a little bit right now. Alteration is basically whatever part you pull in terms of Sokai tier and Gundam Fest tier. Standard unit don't really get the alteration on spot, but Gundam Fest banner and Sokai banner or unit, they usually get the alteration on the release. So alteration further increases what kind of stat a part can be looking at, and then further increase what kind of EX skill damage they can be doing, as well as you will be able to unlock a secondary portrait. So instead of one portrait, you have two portraits, for example. So that's why alteration is pretty much a busted way to kind of overpower your parts. And if you don't kind of summon your part on the release on the initial week, for example, you're gonna be missing out the L Badge, is probably one of the most important items to be looking at. In terms of this step up banner, is probably one of the best, because this step up banner does allow us to get some alteration to, or the alteration to the L Badge. So if you summon on some other alternative, let's say step up banner, they usually do come with a lot of 6-star parts, like a lot of 6-star Sokai unit, Sokai parts. So you're pretty much you are gonna get a lot of good haul from that. But I think at the end of the day, people have learned that if you're not getting the L Badge, you're pretty much missing like a big chunk of what that actual part can be doing. So that's why in terms of Thursday banner, you do have to kind of watch out for which one to be looking at. The one I have listed over here, this is definitely the best one you can be looking at. So whenever this one does release, you can definitely summon on this banner. What's cool about this banner, they actually they actually do give you ticket to kind of target like a specific part that you kind of be wanting to have for like a long time. So in terms of whenever we have these types of banner, I usually recommend people to kind of get the best portrait possible, like a double 40% trait, for example, and that's pretty much it. So to add on top of that, usually if you talk about like a melee build or a shooting build, usually you want to focus on, let's start out with a melee build. In a melee build, the best two part you want to have in that build is definitely going to be a good pair of arms, and then you want a good pair of melee weapon. So that's pretty much gonna make up the majority bulk of like how powerful your melee suit can be. Definitely you do have 7 other parts that will kind of make up for that, but in terms of like how do you get the highest stat, arm and then the melee weapon is definitely gonna boost your let's say melee stat by the most in a way. If we talk about collectively, obviously everything does kind of matter, but arms and then melee weapon are definitely going to make up the most. So in terms of the shooting build, you definitely want the best head possible, and then the best shooting ranged weapon possible. So that is pretty much what you want to be targeting for if you talk about the opportunity to be able to pick your own parts and then having the specific airbrush you're looking at. Alright, so in this image over here, I have listed out a few banners unit that we have gotten throughout the past few weeks actually. So we have something called a revive banner, and we do have it for Sokai version as well as like in the fast version. So remember how I said that sometimes in terms of those type of banners, sometimes they're good because you are able to overhaul a lot of good 6-star parts, for example. So these are where this banner usually comes in handy over here, because like I said again, without the L badge, for example, you see right here, bonus L badge for alteration included. So since when you summon on like those gigantic pools banner, for example, you don't get the banner, you don't get that specific for L badge, right? So these are where these banner kind of comes in handy. For example, let's say for example, we have the high new Gundam version car, and then we have the unicorn preferred ability. So let's say you want to alter those unit because you had the parts already. This is where this banner is gonna come in handy, because if you summon one time, you'll be able to get the alteration too. That is speaking if you do like a full multi summon, that is gonna cost you 1,500. So if you do a full multi summon, not only are you gonna get an L bash, and then you're also gonna get a build project unit material. So this one is just gonna be a flatter example of one unit that we have currently going on right now as the recording. It's not like we're still waiting for the material D. So in terms of a build project material, you can do all sorts of things with it. I think the most important thing you can do with the build project material is one, you can kind of exchange for one of that specific build project part, and two, if you have one of the build project material during a given week when we have a revival week, for example, like these right here, you can actually use one of the material and then kind of exchange for one of the L badges. So if you summon on one time on these specific banner, let's say you have parts that you want to alterate, for example, you can get 2 alteration tools for either or actually. So that's going to be really beneficial if you are targeting some specific part that you've been wanting to alterate. So those are pretty much what I want to cover. So we also do have, last but not least, we have a premium capsule banner. So in terms of the premium capsule banner, this is something we kind of get. This is the ticket we get usually when you complete the weekly bingo set. In terms of weekly bingo set, they usually guarantee you at least one Sokai tier parts and then one Gundam Battle Festival parts. So with that, usually it doesn't come with Airbrush, obviously. So that's why whenever you see some sort of like a revive banner, for example, if you want to alter a specific part, definitely you can kind of summon on them, because they will not only grant you one alteration tool for ability. I don't know, does it actually drop both of them, but I know that it dropped at least one alteration tool. Please do perform a full multi summon, because if you do perform a full multi summon, that is actually when you do get the bonus, the freebie, and then you also get a build project material. You can use it to get a specific once you collect 10 individual, so 2 per, right? So you need 2 sets of build project material to exchange for a part. So once you have done that, you can kind of exchange for that. Or if you don't want to do that, you can definitely take the build project material and kind of use it to kind of get yourselves an Albert whenever we have these types of banner rolling in during that week. So that is pretty much it in terms of going over the banner. Do let me know if you guys do have any further question in recording, like what kind of banner to summon on and all that good stuff. So with that being said, hopefully you guys now have better understanding of what kind of banner to be summoned on, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.